What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today, and today we have a really exciting 5-way unboxing video for you guys. I really hope you guys are excited for today's video, and without any further delay, let's get started. Today we're going to be reviewing 5 outstanding heritage models for American Airlines that came out last year for AeroClassics. This is a really awesome set of models, and I thought it would be really cool to review all of them in this video. I know I did mass unboxing 16, but like I was saying in the previous review, I really want to dive into some models that didn't get enough time, if you will, in that video, and I thought that this would be an outstanding way to take a look at all these amazing heritage planes for American Airlines. So today we have all 5 of them, which is really cool, and let's take a look at all of these. So starting from right to left, we have the America West Airbus A319, the PSA Airbus A319, then we have the Piedmont Airbus A319, the Allegheny Airbus A319, and the most latest edition, that's an Airbus A321 that barely made the cut because yes, it's a heritage delivery even though it's a different aircraft, the US Airways Airbus A321. So quite a few awesome aircraft to go into in today's video. I'm really excited to review them, so we'll take a look at one box because they're all pretty much about the same, and then we'll dive into each and every one of these models. So let's do it, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, so here's the box for, yes, all 5 of these. So these are all blue box aircraft from AeroClassics. So what happens with the blue box release is they end up literally sending it in a blue box because it's not necessarily a AeroClassics release because they don't want to have any licensing issues. So that is what we have with this blue box. So all it is a blue box with the cutout. So as you can see, it's clearly the AeroClassics box, just blue. Then we have the 1:400 scale right there. And then outside of that, it's really simple. The only other thing that we have on this box, of course, with the plastic crate, of course, but on the outside that is the sticker for it. So it lets you know what aircraft it is with the item number in the aircraft. So of course it has the registration, the barcode in the aircraft. So this is the US Airways Airbus A321 with the registration November 578 Uniform Whiskey. And then the box outside that is literally just blue. What can I say? And a couple of hazards back here on the back left. So not too much to say with the box. That's why I didn't do all 5 of them. But nevertheless, still a nice box, and we'll dive into each and every aircraft from there, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, so we'll start with my least favorite livery, and that's going to be the Allegheny Airbus A319 with the CFM engine. So there's nothing wrong with this livery. I still think it looks really nice and still really good, but if I had to pick a least favorite, it would be this one. But still really nice aircraft, and as you guys can see from the outside, it is a beautiful looking aircraft, and I'm excited to dive into it, so let's do that. Alrighty, everybody, so starting up here at the front, we have the cockpit windows in the black nose cone, which is really cool. Then it goes to a lighter gray before it finishes off at its mid-tone gray, which is really cool. You have a panel right here in the Vista Jet, which is what the nickname is of the A319 for Allegheny, which is really cool. Then right here we have the L1 boarding door in the nose landing gear as well, which looks really nice. Then of course we have the start of the first class, which quickly goes into economy plus. Right here we have the American Airlines billboard titles, which is really cool. Of course this was transpired from US Airways, so just a simple change right there, and this is pretty much the same aircraft. But of course we've got all the seats right here in the windows, which look really nice. The one overwing exit, excuse me, I cannot talk today for whatever reason. And then of course the wings, which look really good. So we got the CFM engines right here, which look really good. And then of course we got the wing right here in the main landing gear, and some applicable detail with the emergency pad right there, the flaps, slats, and speed brakes as well. This looks really good. And then of course it's not too much of a crazy livery. Of course you just got the white here on the top, the navy here throughout the middle, and then the gray on the bottom right here. And then of course you have the registration November 745 Victor Juliet for VistaJet, which is really cool. Then of course you have the L2 door and the Allegheny tail right there, which I really like the logo of Allegheny, just the livery isn't the most outstanding, but still looks really good. Then following that, on the right side of the aircraft, of course you have all the applicable detail with the nose cones and whatnot, and of course you also have the luggage doors as well on this side, which are really nice, and they look really good, so really nice job right here. The top of the aircraft is pretty simple. You have a beacon and just white from there, so not too much to reference there. And then on the bottom you got a stand hole and all the applicable details. So overall, really nice model with the Allegheny Airbus A319, still a really good one, and I'm really glad to have it. So let's move into our next A319, which will be the Piedmont livery. Next in line right here, we have the Piedmont Airbus A319. This is a really nice, simple looking livery. I really like it, and I'm really glad to have it in my fleet. What a fantastic aircraft this is, and let's dive into the details. Beginning up here at the front, you have the cockpit windows, and then of course you have the white pattern, and then the gray down here on the undercarriage, which is really cool. The L1 boarding door, and then the Piedmont titles as all the colors flash into the normal livery right here. Then of course you have the main landing gear, and then the American Airlines billboard titles, the same first class area, which is really applicable right here. You got the CFM engines, of course, which look really good on this aircraft as well, which are really nice. The main landing gear, all the previous details that I was referencing. The only main difference here, of course, is you have the white, blue, white, gray combination, which I think is really applicable applicable and very clean in reference to the pattern. I really like that. So that's really good right there. Really nice effort. Really, really nice. Then, of course, down here you have the registration with the U.S. flag in November 744P, which is Piedmont, of course, or for Papa. So that's really nice. The L2 door, and then, of course, you have the Piedmont tail right here, which is really cool. There's a lot of really nice detail in here. So, of course, you got the main logo right there with Piedmont. I really like that. That's really cool. Starting with that red line on the top right there, which is really cool. And then it transpires down the multiple blue lines with the Airbus A319, and they put the aircraft on there. Like, I believe they did 767 for the 767-200 and some others. So that is really cool. And I thought that was one of the coolest parts of the Piedmont livery to encompass those details. Here's the right side of the aircraft. Not too much to note right here. Just looks really clean. And I really like it in reference to the design. That is really good right there, and a really nice effort right there from AeroClassics. The top of the aircraft is looking really good right here, as you guys can see, and the bottom is looking really nice right here as well. Really nice stuff. And ultimately, the Piedmont aircraft is really good. I really like the livery. It's very unique and a really good one overall, to say the least. Really good model right here, excuse me. We'll move into the next one, which will be the PSA livery. Next in line right here in the 5 ways, the American Airlines Airbus A319 and the PSA Heritage Special livery. I really like this one. It has some very unique colors, and I believe it is Pacific, Southwest Airlines, or Airways. I think it's Airlines, but I could be wrong on that, so don't take my word for it. But nevertheless, PSA was a really cool airline in the Southwest region of the United States, and they had a lot of really good flights around the country. So really good model right here. Let's take a look what PSA was all about. Of course, you got the smiley face, of course, to get it started. So let's get started up there in the front. So beginning up here at the front, everybody, you got the cockpit windows right here, and then this, I believe, is to alleviate heat, I believe is what this called. I'm forgetting what they called it. I don't know if they called it like a visor or something, but nevertheless, that is here. Then you got the black nose cone, and of course the smiley face, which what PSA's livery was known for was the smiley face. Let me see if I can get a better view so you guys can see it. This is kind of a bad perspective, but you can look at pictures online head on. It looks a little bit more clean in reference to the smiley face, but it's really cool from some angles to get to see that. I think it was one of the most unique parts of the livery, and I really like what they had going there. So that is absolutely awesome. Really nice touch right there. So of course you got the smiley face on both sides, and then of course you have the One World logo right there, and then you have the colors. This time it's going to be orange, red, and white, and then a little bit of gray down there, I think I see. Yes, or yeah, so the gray's under there as well. Sorry, the sun reflection was messing me up, but a really cool livery, as you guys can see. It's very applicable, so I really like that right there. The American Airlines billboard titles before every livery, it's really cool. Besides America West, all of them just flatter out to normal colors, which is really cool. So that is really nice right there. Then you got the emergency exit right there, the CFM engines for the final time of this video, and then of course you got the emergency exit right there to flaps, slats, and speed brakes. You got the winglet piece right there, which is really good. I believe it's also orange on the inside, along with the rest of them. I believe they are also supposed to be on the inside, but I believe AeroClassics doesn't have the printing capabilities to represent that, which is okay. Registration on this guy is November 742 Papa Sierra. Then of course you got the US flag, the fleet number, and then the beautiful PSA tail. Just really iconic. I really like the orange and red, but not only that, but just the font is so iconic. You'll pick up on it immediately, which is really cool. And I know US Airways back in the day, when they had their aircraft, they had the Star Alliance logo and also all the airlines they merged with. So there was America West, PSA, Allegheny, and Piedmont on here, which was really cool. And of course they have the Piedmont subsidiary brand nowadays, which is really cool that they kept that name. I don't know how they integrated it or how it happened, but nevertheless really cool. And there's the PSA as well. On the right side, you got Mr. Smiley Face right there as well, the luggage doors, and all the other applicable detail that we previously referenced. And then taking a look at the top and bottom, very similar, besides the fact that there is a beacon right there. And then on the bottom, the smiley face, you can kind of see transpires over, which is really cool, but all gray underbellies. But let's take it into our next aircraft with America West. That's going to be slightly different from all these. Next in line right here is our 4th Airbus A319 and the final one. This is the America West Airbus A319. I really like this livery. This is definitely my favorite, and I just think it looks so cool. Of course, America West was based out there on the West Coast with their Phoenix and Las Vegas hubs, and I'm trying to think if they had another one. I think they might have had another one, but it slipped my mind off the top of my head. But still, a really cool livery right here, and I'm really excited to dive into this Airbus A319. So let's dive into it, everybody. Alrighty everybody, so beginning up here we have the cockpit windows, of course the L1 boarding door, and the really cool livery on this one. I really like this. You have the orange line and then the teal color, which I love this teal color. You don't really see this on airline liveries nowadays, so this is really cool. The nose landing gear right here in the American Airlines billboard titles with the One World logo. This is our first aircraft that featured the, this slipped my mind, the IAE engines, which is really cool. I believe these are the VAE 2500s if I'm not mistaken, so really cool right here, and I really like these engines on here. I would like to see Gemini jets try to do a model of this, but honestly this AeroClassics one is very applicable, especially the color is really good. So I'm not complaining. This is really good. So you got the engines right there with the America West on them, which is really cool. Then of course you got the winglet right there as well, which looks really nice, or the fence tip I should say rather, excuse me. Then of course you got this really cool pattern design right here in light gray, which really finishes out this livery. I really like that. Then of course the absolutely legendary America West tail. This is so cool. I love that background, but then the orange, the contrast it all out. That is outstanding work, and honestly it doesn't get much better than that. That is absolutely awesome. The right side of the aircraft is also really nice, as you can see, with the luggage doors and all that. Really good livery right here, and I'll show you guys the top and the bottom, even though there's not too much to the top. As you guys can see, a beacon, then you can see a little bit of that design starting, which is really cool. But the bottom is really nice, as it's all blue, of course, outside of the orange right there on the back. A really nice aircraft about it. Really glad to see this, and this is absolutely awesome. Really good work right here. The last aircraft and the newest up the bat for the American Airlines Heritage Fleet is the Airbus A321 right here in the US Airways Heritage livery. This is a really cool aircraft. I'm really wondering why they didn't choose to put it on an Airbus A319, because when mergers happen, of course, American Airlines has their whole heritage fleet and what they do with it, with no billboard titles, all of that, with the Astrojet livery and the chrome livery. But I don't know why they chose to do it on a 321 here, because you would think they would put it on a 319 and continue what US Airways was doing, but maybe they just wanted to slap US Airways in the face. I don't know. But US Airways also ordered a ton of Airbus A321, so maybe they just wanted to represent the A321 for US Airways. Not completely sure, but honestly it looked really good on this aircraft, and I think it is very applicable. Speaking of which, let's dive into this and take a look at this outstanding livery. Here we go, everybody. Starting up here at the front, you got the cockpit windows, the panel, the L1 door, Airbus A321, and here's where the US Airways livery starts. Of course, they had the navy livery, but as for the white livery, it starts with the red line and the navy underneath, which is really cool. Then, of course, you got the nose landing gear right here with the American Airlines billboard titles. This is where the first class is, of course. Then you got the L1 and L2 doors, which are really cool. Airbus A321 once again in all your applicable details. It's really weird with the American titles, but I think it looks quite nice, so I do like it. Then, of course, you got the IAE 2500 engines on this aircraft as well, which look really good. I really like the navy on there. And then the fence tip as well, which looks really good in all your applicable detail, but no emergency exit pad, because of course there is no door right there, which takes us into the L3 door. As you guys can see, that is quite nice. And then the line start for the US Airways livery, which I think looked really good, so I was really pleased with that effort. The registration of this aircraft, of course, November 578 Uniform Whiskey, as we were previously referencing with the fleet code, of course. And then all those lines make it into the US Airways tail with the L4 door, and it's just so legendary. You got the United States flag, the red on the very top, and then the navy with the both shades right there with the lines coming across. A really nice design and very easy to pick out. Really cool, and I really like that. On the right side of the aircraft, of course, you have all the other applicable detail with the luggage loaders and everything, and of course the tail as well. There's not too much to the top and bottom of this aircraft, of course, but definitely want to take a look at it, as there is a beacon on there, which is really helpful. But the bottom is really cool with the design, of course, as you have the navy right there, the luggage loaders, and very similar to the America West and PSA, you also have the red line coming down. So a very notable livery as per usual, but really good stuff. And it seemed like the APU had a little bit of gray back there, because you guys can see the color changes a little bit right there, which is, oh, that's off the line. That's really cool. Really nice design right there. So that looks really good. But the US Airways Airbus A321 livery is so nice and looks so good with the American Airlines heritage on it. That's absolutely awesome. Alrighty, everybody, and that will do it for the 5-way review on all these US Heritage family, if you will, Airbus A319s and the lone Airbus A321. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. These are some really nice models, and this is really cool to get to see the history. All these airlines were really cool, kind of just talking about them each a little bit briefly, as we kind of did, but let's touch on it a little bit more. So, of course, the latest to go was US Airways. They merged with American Airlines in 2013. US Airways had a really big presence over there in the East Coast with their Charlotte, Washington, Reagan, and Philadelphia hubs, and a really good airline. They served a lot of really cool cities. They were really known especially for just different types of service, and also their transcontinental services were really cool with the A321s from Charlotte, Philadelphia, and all that. So that was really cool, and they were a fantastic airline. So that was really nice right there, and a fantastic airline to say the least. Over there, we had the Allegheny. Allegheny, I don't know too much about, besides that they were a really cool airline. I don't know all the aircraft they operate, but they seemed like a pretty cool airline, so I was very pleased with their efforts, and I honestly thought that they were really cool. So very nice stuff right there, and I will say we're about to have a cat invade, so I'm not going to stop it. I'll just let it go on there if it wants to, but the Allegheny livery Airbus A319, no. This is a CLT moment right here, but the Allegheny Airbus A319 looks really good, and I'm sure that they did a very applicable job. There she goes. But nevertheless, Allegheny is really nice, and it looks really good, so that's pretty good stuff right there. And next up, we had the Piedmont Airbus A319. Piedmont was a really cool airline. They now have a subsidiary brand under American Eagle, which is really cool. I don't know too much about Piedmont either. I know more about PSA and America West, but Piedmont I think was a really good ongoing airline. They had 767s and all kinds of stuff into the 80s. I think they merged maybe in the 80s. I honestly don't know, 90s, something like that. So Piedmont was a really big airline. They had a really big presence here too, and that was very applicable to say the least. The next airline we have is PSA. They had a really good presence over here in the Southwest region, which was really cool. I think they had hubs in California. I think it was like San Diego, maybe like Los Angeles or something like that. But they were really good in reference to everything that they did. And they had pretty good service from what I knew. Flying MD-80s and all kinds of cool aircraft. So that was really nice. I was very pleased with their efforts. That was really, really nice. And lastly, like I was referencing previously, we have the America West Airbus A319. And America West was a really good airline. Main hubs out of Las Vegas and Phoenix. I'm kind of sad that US Airways destroyed that Las Vegas hub, but I think they kind of tried, and then Southwest started booming and everybody else, so Legion especially, so, and that's the shade from the cat, so I apologize about that. But nevertheless, America West was a really cool airline. I feel like that, maybe it was US Air I'm thinking about, but I thought like America West had a hub in Pittsburgh, but I know US Airways did, but I thought that America West had another, maybe it was in Ohio, maybe it was like Columbus they had another hub, and I know they had another one. Somebody's going to point me out in the comments, so please feel free to clarify that. I would appreciate it, but I think maybe it was Columbus, Ohio. America West had another hub, but nevertheless, America West was a really cool airline, and they had a lot of really cool aircraft. So what stand out to me are their 757 special deliveries I thought were really cool, but they also had the 737 classics that US Airways ended up integrating before they retired those. And I'm trying to think, their regional fleet was really cool with the then new CRJ 900 before they merged. I believe they had some CRJ 200s, and also the Dash 8s were really cool too. So ultimately a really cool lineup of heritage aircrafts. Let me know if you guys like to see the American Airlines side of this, because we have the Reno Air, TWA, all those, which is really cool. AirCal, all those aircraft, and of course the American Airlines actual ones, which are really cool. So ultimately some really good deliveries, and I'm really glad to get to assess a pair like this. I think they look really good, and I'm very pleased with it. So with all that being said, that will do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.